is this Tony Award-winning adaptation based off the musical, based off the book that had also another adaptation with William Hurt and Raul Julia. Is it a worthy successor in this kind of oeuvre of Kiss of the Spider Woman? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of the adaptation that is Kiss of the Spider Woman. This is based off the Tony Award-winning musical that is based off the Manuel Puig book that is directed by Bill Condon. Okay, so you may have or may not have seen the original Kiss of the Spider Woman, the movie that had William Hurt and Raul Julia, but this is the musical adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical about two individuals in a Argentinian prison. One is a gay individual that's in there for the corruption of a minor. The other, of course, is a political prisoner played by Diego Luna and Tonatiuh. And it's a story about how these two individuals kind of find like similarities in their differences. One is gay and one is not, and they start to form a bond through this movie story that Tonatiuh's character of Melina tells, which is about a woman who's played by Jennifer Lopez named Luna, who in the process basically is Tonatiuh's Melina character, where she falls kind of for this individual played by Diego Luna's character in the story, and it becomes this romance that is like forbidden, that is kind of over the top and like campy in a lot of respects. And there's also the story of the Spider Woman who gives the kiss of death and stuff like that, and it's basically about these two in essence it's about these two individuals who find a very romantic, very passionate bond through a very corrupt system that is using them for political gain, that is using them to get back to one another. You know, they use Melina's character to get back on Valentine, and basically is a story about friendship in a very corrupt society and stuff like that, as well as kind of a, you know, Bill Condon's, Rob Marshall kind of era of filmmaking when it comes to musicals. So there you go. So Kiss of the Spider Woman is a blank spot in my kind of oeuvre of movies and movie watching. I've never seen the original movie. I've never read the book. I've never seen the musical. So this is my first foray into this material. But I heard really good things about, of course, the original movie. You know, William Hurt won an Oscar. Raul Julia, of course, is one of my favorite actors who unfortunately passed away very young at age. And it also was, I think, nominated for Best Picture and stuff like that. So, I mean, it also won Tonys for Best Musical. So it has a history. It has controversy because of Manuel Puig's kind of history in his life. But it's very much beloved for what it is. So here we have a musical adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical. And yeah, I was looking forward to it. You know, Diego Luna is really good as an actor at this point. I don't know many of these other actors, to be fairly honest, but Jennifer Lopez has come into her own really in her 50s, which is really interesting, you know, between Hustlers and so on and so forth. And so I was like, okay, you know, Bill Condon's a competent director. He's written stuff like and directed like Kinsey and Gods and Monsters, and of course he wrote Chicago. So he's very competent at what he does. So can he deliver on material that is beloved like Kiss of the Spider Woman? I will say this: I enjoyed this movie. I didn't love this movie. I thought the musical sequences are well staged. They're well directed. I think they're a lot of fun. But they, in comparison to the movie itself, when it goes back to the prison, there is a disconnect and a dissonance between the two that really kind of makes the kind of struggle between the two stories kind of not feel connecting, to be fairly honest. And I really love the like connection between Diego Luna and Tonatiuh in this movie. I think they do a really nice job, have great chemistry. I think Jennifer Lopez does a fantastic job in the musical sequences. I think she's amazing. She gives a new level of just how good she is at singing. It's a kind of one of her best performances I've ever seen her in. I thought Hustlers was really good, but this is like a whole new level. This is something that is amazing. She actually lifts the kind of campy nature of the story of Kiss of the Spider Woman and what Tonatiuh's Melina character is telling, in the nature of, you know, the story about basically Melina is Aurora, who is the Jennifer Lopez character in that story. He wants to become a transition to a woman. He feels very at odds with the fact that, you know, Valentine is not seeing his side. It really, you can tell just the nature of like the the transition and the you know, the nature of like how people look at themselves in a world that doesn't see it. But the story that Luna is portraying in that story, he's playing Armando. He is a photographer that falls, like I said, falls in love with Aurora, which is really Melina Tonatiuh just expressing himself, is a really fascinating one. I think it really hampers when you make it feel like more of a Broadway show than when you makes it feel like a movie. I think this is what made Chicago, the movie, kind of not stand up with the test of time. Is as much as I like that movie and enjoy it, I don't think the sequences which show the songs that are played out, which are very, very famous songs, really work. I think it's a really kind of, the juxtaposition is really off in those types of stories, and I think Dreamgirls does the same thing. But I think overall the story in the prison, the story of like how Melina is being used, the kind of bond that the two individuals play, I think once again Tonatiuh and Diego Luna do a really nice job, have great chemistry, and just really work and make this movie really pop. And once again, Jennifer Lopez makes the movie pop in many different directions. And yeah, I mean, other than that, like the story with the warden is just kind of like, you know, it's very by the book and standard. And that's just kind of where my qualms and quips lie, is just some of the story is just very standard, substandard stuff and very by the book. And you've seen it, you've been there, you've done it before. But, you know, it's an entertaining movie. It looks gorgeous. As much as I don't really like the musical sequences and like how they're shot, I do think they look nice. I think it's it like pops with color and it pops with vibrancy. If this were like the Broadway version, I think I could see why it would pop so well. But overall, I think the true version of the story before it gets to the end is much more interesting, in watching these two talk with one another and form that bond to an interesting relationship is what makes this movie work. So overall, this is a Spider-Woman as a movie musical. It's entertaining. It has its issues. It's a little long in my book, but yeah, overall, it's a good movie. It's one I recommend, especially if you're a musical lover. So there you go. That's my take on Kiss of the Spider-Woman, the musical adaptation of the Tony Award-winning musical based on the book. They also had an adaptation with William Hurt and Raul Julia. So there you go. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Have you seen the original movie? Have you seen the Broadway musical? Let me know what you think overall of this story. Are you looking forward to this version? Let me know in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.